It's a busy day here in downtown Cleveland. Game 7, the Cavs and the Pacers at the Q right across the street from here inside Progressive Field, where the Mariners and the Indians wrap up this 4-game series. Mariners winning in lopsided fashion yesterday, thanks in part to Nelson Cruz, a 4-hit day, as the Mariners have their eyes on a 4-game series win here from Cleveland. Already a winning road trip. That is a guarantee for the Mariners as we take a look at D. Gordon and the rest of the starting lineup.
And the Mariners have scored a lot of runs in this series. 22 runs scored in the first 3 games of this series. Following day, it'll be Gene Segura, 3 for 5 yesterday, home run, 4 RBIs for him. He's hitting .483 with runners in scoring position, as Aaron mentioned. Nelson Cruz, 4 for 5, a home run, couple of RBIs for the cleanup hitter. 7-8 hitters today. You have Gamble and Zunino back in the lineup. For Tomlin, we mentioned that the home run has been an issue for him this year. You see the high ERA, 12 2/3, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. Typically he stays away from the walks, but 8 home runs, opponents hitting .361 against Tomlin. We'll take a look at the defense. Brandon Geyer is in right field. Eric Gonzalez gets to start. Kipnis out today. Yan Gomes back in the lineup. He had yesterday off. He will do the catching.
Well, the good news today, plenty of sunshine, a little cool today, but the sun is out for the final game of the road trip for the Mariners. Talk about the home runs for Tomlin. 4 in his last start, 4 in his first start of the year, so 8 in total. Those 8 home runs have come in 2 games, spanning less than 7 innings. Bunt, third base, and foul. 42 degrees, by the way, speaking of the temperature at first pitch.
For Tomlin, his fastball right at 87 miles an hour. He has a cutter, curve, and change to go with it. Mentioned his off-speed pitches has been difficult for him. Against his cutter, opponents hitting .385, .308 on the curveball.
Still 1-2.
Typically will work off the edges of the plate. We'll see what Diaz done in 6 games against the Indians. .292 with a home run, and mix up all of his pitches.
This is cork, but foul. Well, you know, we heard Gene Segura talking about this after the game yesterday. D. Gordon helping to set the tone. Of course, it was D and Gene scoring 3 runs, reaching base each of their first 3 times up.
I thought that was going to be a real plus, a difficult situation for any pitcher to start against, and you're right. He had a base hit followed by the home run from Segura to get him a quick 2-run lead. And what an at bat here.
Base hit to begin things for D. Gordon. He's aboard right away.
Also saw 6 pitches in this first at bat for D, and finally gets something that he can handle after fouling a few pitches off. You can see that is right in the middle of the plate. Not trying to do too much with it. Solid line drive into center field.
He's aboard for Segura. Gene yesterday tied his career high with 4 ribbies. Did that last year as well. Barely misses for ball 1. Now batting an even .300. And you talk about some run production out of your number 2 hitter. 20 runs batted in for Segura. Out to center. Zimmer out there once again today. 1 out. Zimmer had a busy day yesterday in game 3. Gordon back to first base. That brings up Cano.
D. Gordon with a stolen base yesterday. He leads the league with 10.
Robbie, some terrific numbers against Tomlin in his career. You mentioned the great pitching the Mariners have seen, especially in this series. Yesterday, chasing Carlos Carrasco after 3 innings. Game 1 of the series. Able to get to Mike Clevenger, 4 runs, 8 hits. Clevenger came in with a sub-2 earned run average.
A 1.75 ERA.
Taking strike 1.
Corey Kluber, a 1.96. He was terrific in his outing. It's been difficult, but the Mariners keep swinging the bats, finding a way to score some runs.
There's Kluber. Came out away from a complete game the other night. Mariners ended up making that a 1-run game. D getting some attention over at first base as usual. One and one. Tomlin just 3 2/3 inning in his last start. In fact, has not gone deeper than 5 so far.
Well, I mentioned his average fastball this year at 87 and all the off-speed pitches. He has to be on point if he wants to work his way through a lineup 2 or 3 times. Not a lot of room for error for him.
Again to first.
With Cano hitting straight up in the outfield, playing him to pull on the infield. Lindor, the shortstop, right up the middle. See Ramirez, the third baseman, basically at the shortstop position.
Robbie out to right field. Geyer in front of the warning track. Puts it away for round number 2. Here comes Nelson Cruz. 4 hits yesterday, including a home run, his 5th on the year. Testing the bounds of StatCast yesterday. Oh, no time that average up to 290. We talk about the struggles of Tomlin this year. This is going back a few seasons, back to 2014, but Tomlin pitched truly one of the best games against the Mariners of any opposing starter in recent seasons. 9 innings, only 1 hit, no walks, no runs, 11 strikeouts. And it gets Nelly 2 outs, 2 on.
And we'll take a look at it again. His fastball is 87 miles an hour. Hits him in the tricep and part of his back. Bring up Kyle Seager. Kyle with a home run yesterday. The Mariners hitting with runners in scoring position in this series are 11 for 20. As a team, they're hitting .301 runners in scoring position.
Now, both very impressive numbers. You can see what Kyle has done here in Cleveland over his career. Speaking of impressive numbers.
Really swung the bat well yesterday. Lined out to the center fielder a couple of times. Mentioned the home run. Almost hit a second home run. It was caught on the warning track.
Zimmer in center field, looks up, grabs it for out number 3. The Mariners strand a couple to go to the bottom of the first. Marco Gonzalez about to take them out.
third in the lineup, had a base hit yesterday. That's his first hit against the Mariners this year. Michael Brantley heating up, the cleanup hitter, 2 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. Want to be careful with him. And hitting 6th, Yonder Alonso has homered in all 3 games of this series.
And for Marco Gonzalez, 8 strikeouts in back-to-back starts entering today.
27 strikeouts in 22 2/3. That's a really nice number for him overall. Just the 4 walks. So hopefully he has that type of command here this afternoon. Look at the defense for the Mariners. Ben Gamel had yesterday off. Back in the lineup, he will be in left field. Seager and Healy will hold down the corners for the Mariners on the infield. And Mike Zunino also with yesterday off, back behind the plate this afternoon.
Starts Lindor off with strike 1.
Marco Gonzalez, his average fastball this year at 90 miles an hour. At times he can touch 93, 94. Cutter, curve, changeup to go with it.
Ruled ball 1 ball and 1 strike. And we talk about the strikeouts recently for Gonzalez. 8 strikeouts 2 starts ago against the Astros. 8 strikeouts his last time out against the White Sox. The biggest difference is him being able to work deeper into his last start, a full 6 compared to 4 2/3 against Houston.
Well, that certainly helps, and it's one of the reasons why Scott Service, Mel Stottlemyre talking to Gonzalez. They wanted him to use all of his pitches right away in the game. He misses with the changeup right there. The changeup is his best pitch, but he's also been using his curveball more, which I think has helped, so that later in a count, when he gets ahead in the count, he can use his fastball at 90 to 93 miles an hour and actually throw it by some hitters.
His 2-2.
Fastball, top of the strike zone. But it's been a nice adjustment that he has made and has been pitching much better, as you mentioned, in his last 2 outings.
A rare sight, playing Lindor straight up is now Robbie just doing a little bit of landscaping there. Here comes the payoff. That's something that Gonzalez has not done much of at all this year. That is issue ball 4. A leadoff walk to Lindor. Bradley Zimmer finds himself batting up in the order today, hitting 2nd. Left-handed hitting center fielder for Terry Francona. Showing bunt. Seager waist high to first base. They got him doubled up. That did not go according to plan.
That was well done by Kyle Seager. Lindor appears that he thinks he was able to beat it back to first base, but Kyle was playing maybe even with the bag and started creeping in, almost as if he felt that Zimmer was going to try to bunt. That's why he was able to catch it in the air. Zimmer, one of the fastest players in the major leagues, bunts this in the air. You can see Kyle breaking right away, gets rid of it quickly. And that will be a double play. Take another look at it. Kyle calls him off. Marco gets out of the way and lets him make the play. The stretch by Healy, it was close, but that's a double play. Well done. Nice break for Marco here in the first.
And starts Ramirez off the first pitch strike. We talk all the time about the accuracy of Kyle's arm at third base, and as close as that play was, Healy gets off the bag even for a split second. No chance to get that double play.
Well, because it's accurate, his stretch, he can stretch right to him and help him. And it makes a big difference when you're talking about a play that is that close. It's an easy play for Healy to do what he has done well. We've seen it, the way that he's able to stretch and go out, shorten the distance.
Up the middle for a base hit. Jose Ramirez aboard with 2 outs in the first.
Ramirez. He gets a pitch right in the middle of the plate. Gets it off the label. A soft line drive back up the middle. Mariners have been able to hold him down again, getting his first hit against the Mariners in yesterday's game, but I feel that was only going to last so long. He is a very good player.
Speaking of which, Michael Brantley red hot, batting over .350 entering today. Now the first pitch over Robbie into right center. Ramirez making the turn. Runners down the corners, 2 outs.
Brantley being aggressive. First pitch, fastball on the inside corner. Not a bad pitch. Inside out swing again. Jams him a little bit. Able to fight it off at the soft line drive over Robbie's head. Now the double play started by Kyle Seager is huge.
Indians being aggressive last 3 hitters. Zimmer the first pitch, Ramirez the second pitch, Brantley the first pitch.
This is an area that the Mariners have really done a nice job pitching wise, holding the Indians to just 4 for 24 with runners in scoring position in this series.
Ball 1 to Edwin Encarnacion. Evens up.
Pick up the strike with the changeup. That last pitch, a cutter inside. We'll see if he goes right back to the changeup again, his best pitch.
The 2-1.
He does the changeup.
New baseball out to Gonzalez today, making start number 6 on the season. He's working with Ramirez at third base and Brantley over at first. The 2-2. Nope, a throw to first. Now the 2-2. Full count.
Right back inside with another cut fastball. Similar to the third pitch in this at bat. Just missing him. It almost hit him in the shin. I don't think he has to give in to him right here. I know Alonso's had a good series, but you have a left-handed hitter waiting on deck. Go back to his changeup. Good changeup.
Soft grounder. Seager hustling over. And Marco strands a couple and gets out of the first. We go to the second scoreless. Well, starting Friday, don't miss the star-studded weekend series at Safeco Field featuring Robinson Cano, D. Gordon, and the Mariners taking on Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and the Angels. Head on over to Mariners.com to pick up your tickets. Off day for the guys tomorrow. Homestand beginning on Tuesday against the A's. Then the Angels coming to town. And Haniger leads it off in the second for the Mariners. Bent back, looks at ball one. We've already talked about all the great pitching in this series the Mariners have seen, and not just this series. It seems like over the last 2 weeks. Think about a young hitter like Mitch Haniger. There could be a tendency for him to not be able to hit really great pitching already, and we have seen it firsthand. He's hitting everybody, even the guys who have won Cy Youngs, even the guys who are the best closers in the game.
We've heard Scott Service talk about it when it comes to Haniger and the way that he prepares. It does not waver from day to day for him. He is as consistent as a veteran player would be. And I think that he typically has a game plan put together.
Shoots this out to the gap in left center. Zimmer can't get there. Another base hit. And Barehand holds Mitch Haniger to a single. It's an impressive play.
And it's right there. His pitch is out over the plate. If you listen to Mitch speak about what he's trying to do at the plate, he's looking for a pitch, and it doesn't matter if it's a fastball or not. It can be an off-speed pitch like this is. That's an 84-mile-an-hour little cutter, possibly the changeup. Well played by Zimmer. Again, one of the fastest players in the big league. Strong throw back into second. Haniger was about halfway down to second base. Made the right decision by going back to first. But I just think that as consistent as he is with his game plan, that's why it's worked out for him.
Leadoff man reaches for Zunino. He lofts his first pitch. Drifting foul. Brantley's got room. One down. It's interesting hearing Scott Service talk about Ben Gamble, who got the day off yesterday. We'll dig in here. And this idea of maybe not swinging as hard as you possibly can every time you're at the plate. Kind of trying to find that sweet spot somewhere between 80% and 100% effort level.
Yeah, I think that you have to remember that he missed spring training. One. Two, yes, he went out on a rehab, but that's different than this level of play. He's hit the ball hard a few times, has not had the best luck. But I think when you start talking about that, it comes down to, just trying to make things happen as opposed to letting the game come to you. And that takes some ABs. He's right around 26, 27 at bats right now. So he should be in there. I thought it was a nice thing for him to have yesterday off with Carrasco on the mound. Give him a day to just kind of regroup, start over.
I mean, this is extreme, but when you talk about a guy who does not force the game, think about Robinson Cano. I mean, that is the ultimate, isn't it?
It really is. And again, there's a lot of experience there.
Up into the breeze in right field. Brandon Guyer fights the sun a little bit. 2 outs. Haniger, the leadoff single, back to first.
With all the offense yesterday, the one guy that we really haven't talked about, whether it was on the radio today in the pregame or even here, is the guy walking to the plate, Ryan Healy. He hit a long home run yesterday. He's got a base hit in all 3 games. Came off the disabled list for game 1 of this series.
And that was cranked out to center field. So that feels nice for Healy to get that first home run out of the way. Looks at ball one. And we'll see how this lineup evolves as the summer gets underway and we get deeper into the season. But as we've seen with Healy batting ninth, you got a guy with 25 home runs last season in your number 9 spot. And it wasn't like he was only a power guy. Hit 270 last year. 2 outs. Haniger at first base. I'll check in over there. The 2-1. Borderline pitch called strike 2.
A couple of tough pitches from Tomlin to get back in the count, but that's what he has to do. Again, his fastball at 87 miles an hour, not overpowering at all. He has to pitch on the edges. A couple of borderline pitches right there. Last one possibly down.
Haniger apparently looking like D. Gordon over there at first base. Now the 2-2. Barreled up, line drive, left field, base hit. Haniger steaming into third base. This is all the way to the corner. Brocious waving Haniger home. Here he comes. Throw to the plate. Offline. Haniger with a slide in safe. And with 2 outs, Ryan Healy gets the first run across. It's 1-0 Mariners. It looked like a scary slide there for a second. He's all right.
I agree. Right out at home plate, there is some clay that they have mixed in as we take a look at the base hit. A couple of pitches down and away. Looked like a changeup again. Digs it out. Gets it hard into the corner. Haniger has good speed coming around third, and with a couple of outs, Scott Brocious does the right thing and sends him, but he'll kind of stick a little bit as he hits that clay.
There's D. Gordon for the second time. Soft line drive, right field, base hit. Healy getting waved home. Geyer's throw cut off. Healy slides across. D. Gordon into second, and suddenly it's 2-0 Mariners.
And another look at the slide by Haniger, where he'll just kind of stick that knee into the ground. Almost a pop-up slide. Typically when you're sliding into home, you'll just slide across the plate. That didn't happen. But the Mariners again hitting .301 as a team with runners in scoring position. And D. Gordon a clutch base hit with 2 outs as Healy will score. They have to cut it off. The throw was offline. So with a couple of outs, Mariners pick up 2 runs.
And here is Segura.
Talk about hitting with runners in scoring position. Gene Segura hitting .483 with runners in scoring position this year.
Now, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but you throw out that number just over 300 with runners in scoring position. For context,
looking forward to where you're going.
the franchise record for a single season back in 2003 was 297. It's a long way to go. A lot of games left to be played. Line drive, left center field,
Unreal.
base hit. He is an absolute machine. Gordon scores easily. He breaks the tape across home. Segura drives in his 21st run of the season, and it's now 3-0 Mariners.
The top of the lineup again is Carl Willis, the pitching coach, making a trip out to the mound. But here's a look at Gene Segura. Just stays right in the middle of the field with runners in scoring position. He has done this all month long. D. Gordon will score easily with his speed. We thought in spring training with the additions of Gordon and Gene moving down from the leadoff to hitting second that would be a tough combination. But now we're also saying the length of this lineup. Now that Zunino is back, Gamble is back, Healy is back. Nelson Cruz is back in the lineup. This has all started with the bottom of the order and a couple of outs. Ryan Healy driving in the first run with that double down into the corner. Tough lineup to deal with. I'll bring up Cano, who flew out to right field, just missed a home run. Getting in on him just a little bit. Coming into the game, he was 4 for 20, so a 400 hitter with a couple of home runs against Tomlin.
I'm surprised by this. Looking at the numbers for Segura this year, all those RBIs I mentioned now 21, I beg your pardon. That's only the 6th time he has driven in D. Gordon. I would have thought that of those 21 ribbies, like 10 of them would have been D. Gordon crossing home. What a guy to have on base. He can score from anywhere. I'm sure Segura does not take much to bring him across home plate and back into the dugout. Well, outside 1-1. Now 3-run inning for the Mariners. All 3 runs coming with 2 outs. As it goes 2-1 on Cano. Now, Terry Francona has seen plenty of Mariners runs the last couple of days. Cano cracks this deep right field. Tons of carry and gone. Robinson Cano, number 100 in his Mariners career, over the fence in right field, and it continues for the Mariners in the second. 5-0 Mariners.
Good news, Aaron, is they're not going to change this one and take this home run. They were able to make that call a couple of times in the series. This one's going to count. He just missed a home run his first time up. This time barrels it up, line drive into the seats. That's the sound. His 3rd home run on the year. What an inning. Again with 2 outs.
Ball 1 to Nelly. The Mariners 4 home runs yesterday. First one today off the bat of Robbie. Cruz behind 1-2. All this started with Ryan Healy with 2 outs. We said that before about Healy in this series. Getting things going with 2 outs, batting 9th for the Mariners. Saw that a couple of days ago.
I think that the top of the order is set. The middle of the order is set. But I think for Scott, he can move the bottom half of the order around depending on who's hot and who's not.
Soft tapper to Lindor. And that ends the Mariners' second. An 8-batter, 5-run second inning. Some run support for Marco Gonzalez.
The sequence, he's in trouble, first and third, 2 outs. Encarnacion at the plate, so he pitches him away early. Then they go inside. There you can see misses with that little breaking ball. And he's trying to get to his changeup. His changeup is his best pitch. Here, he moves him off the plate, and he'll go right back to the changeup again. Little dribbler. Kyle's able to field it. I just like the sequence of pitches with the cutter inside and back to his changeup when he's in trouble. And even in a 3-2 count, not giving in at that point. You had a left-handed hitter on deck. Throws him the changeup to get the weak ground ball and out of the inning. That is really good stuff, and you can see that he and Mike Zunino working together on that. Slow curveball
into the shift. Segura, 1 down.
But that is exactly what Scott was talking about with Marco, and that is using all of his pitches and not giving in to hitters necessarily. And if he's going to use his cutter, it's okay. You don't have to throw it for a strike. You just move him off the plate. It serves the purpose. It opens up the outer half for the good changeup, and that was excellent for him.
That was a big out in the first. Little did we know that 5 runs would be coming for the Mariners. One out for Yan Gomes. They have the shift on for him. I mean, really, you look at this lineup for the Mariners, and any one of the 9 spots can start a rally.
They could put runs on the board with 1 swing. It's a difficult lineup to deal with, and they're all a little bit different and unique in the way that they go about their business. You have D in the lineup to lead things off. Probably not going to hit a lot of home runs, but hit for a high average, get a lot of hits, and steal a lot of bases. And then everybody else can hit the ball out of the ballpark. It's tough.
Lined the opposite way. Fair ball. Haniger plays it off the wall. Strong throw coming in. But Gomes a 1-out double. The Mariners celebrate Little League Day on Sunday, May 6th when they host the Angels. First pitch time is at 1:10. Thanks to Aquafina, all boys and girls 14 and under will receive an LED Boom Time watch inspired by the Mariners baseball crushing cleanup hitter Nelson Cruz. You can pick up your tickets by going to mariners.com. One out, 1 on for Brandon Guyer. Close miss there for Marco, ball 1. This is slugged out to left field in trouble. Gamble just watching. Up to the bleachers, home run. Brandon Guyer, his 2nd this season. 5-2 Mariners.
The home run has not been a problem for Marco this year. This is just the 3rd home run that he has given up. That fastball, Mike set up on the inside corner, probably more middle in. He drops the barrel on it. Mel Stottlemyre quickly out to the mound, have a conversation with Marco. Eric Gonzalez, the number 9 hitter for the Indians, is due up. Here's the Mel's going to take the clock all the way down to 0s.
Still a 3-run lead for the Mariners. Eric Gonzalez now digs in. Only 9 at-bats so far this year. And looks at strike one. First pitch curve.
Might have been the message. Let's start mixing the curve in a little bit more. We've seen basically fastball, cutter, changeup. Just a few curveballs from him. It's a changeup. Well located changeup.
Goes back to it 1-2.
Marco now at 30 pitches, 17 strikes. And the cutter in off the plate.
Strike three call. First punch out today right at the knees for Marco Gonzalez.
His fastball has jumped up a little bit here in this inning. 91 miles an hour in the last couple of fastballs that he's thrown. That's on the plate, but right at the knees.
Lindor a walk to begin the Indians' first inning. We played the second. First pitch strike. And Marco ahead 0-2.
A little better command of his fastball in this inning. Struggled with that in the first.
Here comes the 1-2. Quick skimmer. Segura 360. Throw on the money to first base to end the inning. We are off to the third. Two-run homer Brandon Guyer. Mariners still lead at 5-2. How about a little bit of glove work by Gene Segura?
Ranging back up the middle and a strong throw to first. Lindor can really get down the line. Nice play by Segura to end the second inning.
You start the third. Kyle Seager leads it off. Segura part of that 5-run second inning as well for the Mariners, an RBI single.
Kyle in good shape. Started today against Tomlin, a .429 hitter. For his first home run against him. Borderline pitch, 2-0.
Tomlin's 2-1. Just beneath the knees. Seager had 3 balls and a strike to lead off the 3rd inning.
He's trying to keep the ball away from him. 2-0 was a fastball on the outside corner. Away again.
Over towards the shift. Gonzalez in right field. Long throw in time. 1 down. Kipnis getting the day off at second base for the Indians. Eric Gonzalez out there instead. Looks like Kyle's checking that one out on the video board. One out for Mitch Haniger. Singled and scored back in the 2nd. There's a recent interview with Mitch, and I was reading Mike, and a lot of questions, of course, revolved around his success early on this season and what he thought of his success and all these amazing numbers he's putting up among the league leaders in so many offensive categories. One of the things that he got back to, this is something we've heard from Mitch ever since day one, is that he is not results oriented, which sounds like such a strange thing to say, but he's so much more part of the process. And we know even the best hitters can go a week, 2 weeks at a time with a ton of hard outs. And Mitch, as best as he can, does not allow himself to get caught up in the result, but more the process and how he goes about it.
Which is a difficult thing even for a veteran hitter when you get to a certain point. Fortunately for Mitch, his down swings have not been for a long period of time. But yeah, you talk to him about it and he'll say, oh, trying to get a good pitch to hit, put a good swing on it, try to get the barrel to the baseball. After that, it's out of his control. He takes strike 3 right there. That's a simple way to look at it, but it's so true. But if you can get there, it's a big advantage too.
And much easier to say than to do. First strikeout for Tomlin, 2 outs. Here's Zunino. Flew out to left field on the first pitch that he saw in the 2nd. Boys, we see 54 of 120 driven in today, or excuse me, not today, this season for the Mariners have come with 2 outs. That seems like a really high number.
It is. And again, I think that what happens is when you have a lineup like this where you really have to bear down on each hitter, if you lose focus for a second and all of a sudden some pitches end up in the middle of the plate, make you pay for it.
Tomlin's 1-1.
I mean, they've added to that today, all 5 runs with 2 outs.
Two and 2. For the first time today, Tomlin retires the side in order. Bounce back inning for Tomlin after that 5-run second. Mariners baseball on Road Sports is brought to you by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. By Virginia Mason Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, making bodies happy again. And by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. Number 3 retired here inside Progressive Field. Earl Averill. The Earl of Snohomish passed away in Everett many years ago. Hall of Famer, 6-time All-Star. Retired numbers above the fence in right field. Bradley Zimmer swings away at the first pitch. Segura having a hustle. Zimmer, a speed demon, in time. First base. 1 out. Nice start defensively to this one for Gene Segura.
This will be his 3rd play of the ball game, and nothing has been routine for him yet. He's made all the plays.
And steps Jose Ramirez with the 1 out. Looking at strike 1.
Base hit back up the middle, soft line drive, his first time up.
And Marco ahead quickly, 0-2. Changeup missing. Here comes the 2-2. Inside the back, fair, past Seager. Gamble having to dig this out. Ramirez digging for 2. A single, now a double.
Another pitch that's going to be middle in, hits it down the line. And with that double, the Indians had a runner in scoring position in all 3 innings so far.
One out, 1 on for Michael Brantley. On the first pitch, up the middle. Segura, low snare. Healy able to corral it in. 2 outs. Ramirez into third base. Not an easy thing to retire Michael Brantley these days. Well, join us at Safeco Field on Friday. We'll celebrate Star Wars night with nearly 70 Star Wars characters. A sneak peek at the new Solo movie and a Han Solo inspired Kyle Seager bobblehead for the first 20,000 fans. Head on over to mariners.com to pick up your tickets. Two outs. Ramirez at third base for Encarnacion. Close pitch, ball 1.
For Marco, 14 batters, 11 first pitch strikes. So, doing his best to try to work ahead.
Line drive left field, right to Gamble. Comes in, makes the catch for round number 3, and Jose Ramirez is stranded 90 feet from home. We've played 3. Mariners have the lead. League history back on 1999. Mariners setting a team record for runs, defeated the Tigers 22-6. All 12 Mariners who played in that game picked up a hit. Griffey was the highlight, no surprise. A couple of home runs, including a grand slam. Gamble leads it off for the Mariners. I did have to look at the day-by-day that season to see what happened the next day. Right, if the Mariners were held to like a run the next day. Scored 11 runs the next day, so it wasn't like they wasted them all in one game. Gamble routine fly ball out to right field. Maybe not so routine with the sun. Geyer fighting it a little bit. He's flown out to right field twice now. One out for Ryan Healy.
Ryan with a double down in the left field corner. Drove in the first run for the Mariners, driving in Mitch Haniger. Haniger able to score from first.
Looks at a pitch outside for ball one. Curveball lands to make it 1 ball or 1 strike to Healy. Hard hit grounder to Lindor. 2 outs. There comes D. Gordon. Well, Mike, this has been a terrific road trip for the Mariners. An off day tomorrow, then about a week-long homestand at home, following Monday off. I mean, this road trip could not have gotten much better for the Mariners at all.
No, I mean, it's already been a good trip. It can be a great trip if they lock this one down today. You can consider everything that they've been going through. And we mentioned the pitching in this series. They've really played well and swung the bats extremely well. But I also think that the pitching is really starting to come together too, which is great to see. A number of the starters are on a pretty good roll, including Felix, who will get the start on Tuesday.
Kings Court in session at Safeco Field against the A's. 0-2 on D. And we even met D's Nana in Chicago. So it's been a great road trip.
It's been a great road trip.
Stays at 0-2. Little flick off the heel of Tomlin. No kick save at a beauty this time. Gordon is aboard.
3 for 3 day for D. He's been on base all 3 times, all singles. Has an RBI and a score to run. Let's take a look at it. Just trying to put the ball in play off the shoe. See if he tries to steal with a couple of outs, trying to get himself into scoring position. Again, he leads the American League with 10 stolen bases.
Segura out to right field, turns Geyer around a little bit at the base of the track for round number 3. Gordon stranded out of the bottom of the 4th. Brad. Yonder Alonso leads it off 4th try at the bottom of the 4th. On the first pitch, steps on Marco. Seager looking up to the sun. There's out number 1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. And we just heard Brad talking about the White Sox. Now this makes absolutely no sense to me, Mike. After today, Mariners and the Indians are done playing each other. We'll not see each other the rest of the regular season. This will be the 7th and final game. That being said, the Indians haven't seen the White Sox once, a team in their own division.
Or the Tigers, I think. Figure that one out.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've talked about it, especially when you consider the weather and this first month of the season, and everybody wants to get their openers in, and I certainly understand that, but it's one of the reasons why I think you should stay in your own division.
1-0 is pulled foul off the bat of Gomes.
Because if you have issues, you're going to see those clubs. They'll be back in your town another couple of times. You can make the games up a little bit easier, as opposed to the Mariners now having to go back to Minnesota and losing a day off at home.
The Blue Jays were here not all that long ago. It was on the previous homestand for the Indians. Blue Jays were washed out in back-to-back days here at Progressive Field. They are coming here for a doubleheader on a day where there is about an 80% chance of rain.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
That, of course, was their only natural trip here. Just barely foul. Break there, 2-2 on Gomes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Second strikeout for Marco Gonzalez.
After pitching him away, comes right back with a good cutter. 87, 88 miles an hour underneath his hands. Just tied him up with that pitch.
By the way, at home, you might be able to hear what sounds like a party going on across the street, because that's basically what's happening. They have essentially a fan fest or a pep rally for the Cavs game, which is in progress right now. At the queue right across the sidewalk. Brandon Guyer going after the first pitch.
Guyer with a home run his first time up.
There's the arena. Just a long home run away. At the knees, a couple of good pitches, 0-2. The 1-2. Just tap foul over by third base.
Guyer, it was a fastball middle in, and Marco has really done a nice job keeping the ball down 1 and 2, keeping it away from him.
Another foul ball, still a ball and 2 strikes to Guyer. That continues. Third foul ball with 2 strikes.
First cutter inside to him. This will be the 7th pitch coming up in the at bat.
Another 1-2 off the plate this time. Well, pause that time for Marco on the delivery. Gordon in center field there for out number 3 for the first time today. Marco Gonzalez retires the side in order onto the 5th. Five-2 Mariners as we start the top of the 5th, final game of the series. We'll take a look now at our CenturyLink What's Next. Day off tomorrow, then Tuesday beginning the series in the homestand. Starts off with the Oakland A's. The King getting the start. Kingsport will be in session. We've seen Felix pitch very well on this road trip. Going up against Andrew Triggs. Triggs, a good start his last time out. 1 run over 6 in Arlington. Cano, Cruz, and Seager in the Mariners' 5th inning.
Robbie with a 2-run home run out to right his last time up. 1 for 2 in the ball game.
For Cano, that was his 100th home run in a Mariners uniform. Tomlin not getting the call. Goes in Robbie's favor, 3-0. Mike, the guys don't even hear music this loud during batting practice. Is this a thing for a hitter? Could this be distracting, or is this no big deal?
They don't hear it. I think in between innings, or when they're out in the field and in between hitters, they might notice it then, but when they're at the plate, they're zoned in.
The opposite away. Brantley in towards the corner. It's a fair ball and a ground rule double. Home run and a double today for Cano.
And another patient at bat, working the count in his favor. Middle away, slices the ball away from the left fielder, Brantley.
Cano in scoring position for Nelson Cruz. A home run yesterday. Has been hit by a pitch and has grounded out today.
Mariners have had a really good series hitting with runners in scoring position. They are 2 for 3 today, 13 for 23 in the series.
Segura a huge part of that. The 0-2. Strike 3 call. Boy.
See Nelson shaking his head, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Both those fastballs off the plate.
Use your Mariners ticket to ride Link Light Rail to and from the game through June 3rd. Learn more at soundtransit.org. Mariners and Seahawks fans in the house. 1 out, 1 on for Seager. Watch out. Now, speaking of all that music, Mike, we had a chance to talk with Terry Francona before the game, in particular about the series in Puerto Rico that the Indians played. And he was talking about not since winter ball had he seen or heard an atmosphere quite like that in Puerto Rico, and how the noise was just constant. Reminded him so much of winter ball.
It's a party. Yeah, a good time.
Shift on for Kyle. Into the shift to Gonzalez. 2 outs. That moves Cano to third base. There comes Mitch Haniger. Takes ball 1.
Be interesting to see if he gets much to hit right here. Indians aware of the month that he has had. How hot he has been.
Out to Zimmer, left center. Center fielder closing, making the catch. Haniger out number 3. Cano stranded at third base. This Tuesday, the King, Felix Hernandez, taking on the A's at 7:10. Tickets are only $25, and of course includes the new Kings Court T-shirt. Cheer on Felix and the Mariners by picking up your tickets right now at mariners.com/Felix. 9-1-2 due up for the Indians facing Marco Gonzalez. As we go back to the Ford Sports Desk, we say hello to Bill Kruger. And Bill, you know, the strikeouts haven't been there like they have the last 2 times for Marco, but by and large the results have been. What have you made so far of Marco Gonzalez today?
That'll help his pitch count, Bill. I've noticed today with his cut fastball, it doesn't appear that he's necessarily trying to throw it for strikes to the right-handers, but he is, you're right, he is moving them around. I think I like that a lot. I don't think he needs to put that pitch on the plate. Right. How would you rate his changeup?
Is that a pitch that a guy like Marco can have a variation of, essentially 2 changeups in his pocket if he wants to use it?
Bill, do you think that as the season moves on for him and he gets more work, another good pitch right there, a changeup off the plate, but do you think we'll see some of that 94 last year in September? He was throwing 94. Do you think that he's going to stay in that 90-91 range?
Now, we even heard Marco talk a little bit before the season began, Bill, about the idea that he was toying with taking just a little bit off of his 2-seamer. And even if you take a mile an hour off of it, get greedy, take 2 miles an hour off of it, the amount of added movement that Marco found that he could get by doing that, he thought that, speaking of having kind of a duality of one pitch, could be a big weapon for him this year. Hey, Bill, as always, we appreciate your insights. We'll catch up with you more on Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines. 1 out and 1 on the single up the middle by Lindor. Now Bradley Zimmer at the plate for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2. You know, to tell you how spoiled we are by Nelson Cruz and how hard he hits the baseball. Last year, Zimmer had the hardest hit ball for the Indians in the StatCast era, Mike, and it was at, compared to Nelson Cruz, a pedestrian 115 off the bat. You saw Nelly reach that a couple of times yesterday, if not exceed it.
Yeah.
That's no knock on Bradley Zimmer. Just goes to show you what Nelson Cruz can do.
Well, with Nelson putting the ball in play 4 times yesterday, and his home, which was his home run, and that was at 109. And as far as velocity goes, that was there's a lot of guys that would have been really happy with 109, but when he goes to 114, 115 for the rest of the afternoon, that gives you a pretty good idea.
Zimmer's still a very young player, a lot of promise. Former 1st-round draft pick by the Indians.
The tools are there.
I mean, it looks like he should be playing for the Cavs. Seager in on the grass, back a step to Cano. On to Healy, not in time. Tough guy to double up.
It just was not hit hard enough. Kyle was able to get rid of it quickly, and the quick turn, strong throw from Cano, and he's still able to get to first. It was close, but he beat it.
Two outs, a man aboard for Jose Ramirez, who's 2 for 2, a single and a double. Has been stranded at 3rd base twice. Another first pitch strike for Marco Gonzalez. Oh, 0-2. Those 2 pitches have cut a lot of the plate. Ramirez has taken both. Haniger angling back in right field. Puts down the brakes, out number 3. Zimmer stranded. 5 innings complete. Marco Gonzalez and the Mariners have the lead. Games heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using hashtag RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out your fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Getting Cooler just for participating. You can find out official rules at rootsports.com. Bottom third due up. It begins with Mike Zunino. And Mike, you're talking about Zunino fouling it straight back. That tends to be a good sign. We saw one right there, 0-2.
A really good pass on a high fastball, fouling it straight back. It's something that Edgar and Scott Service were talking about. Scott was even saying it to me the other day with Mike.
The 1-2.
I think that's a pretty good sign too. Letting the ball travel. Another cut fastball away from him.
How many times do we hear a guy say that, right? I want to let the ball travel.
Yeah.
But it's got to be harder than what it sounds like. Otherwise, they'd all be doing it.
No, of course it is. You know, there's a lot of things that go into that. Sometimes you're not going to trust your hands enough, so body starts moving around, which is going to cause your head to move, and it's hard to let it travel, and you start cheating. And all kinds of things can go on. But that's what they work at every day and try to get to that point where they can let the ball travel and trust their hands to work inside. And you're right. It's easier said than done, and these guys go back and forth with it all year, depending on how they're feeling or who they're matched up against. You know, certain pitchers too will make them uncomfortable.
One out for Ben Gamble. Speaking of uncomfortable, Gamble was in the lineup a couple of nights ago when Corey Kluber threw a gem against the Mariners. And I was in the elevator on the way back home with Ben at the hotel. We were talking a little bit about Kluber and just how tough of a night it was. As this is a late one hopper snared by Gonzalez. Now number 2. And Ben said, yeah, then Kluber started throwing me changeups. I said, changeups? Corey Kluber has a changeup? I didn't know that. He said, yeah, neither did I. Not an easy night. One of the best of the business.
He was on his game.
He really was. A couple of ground ball outs for Healy. Healy 1 for 2, an RBI double. That sparked the 5-run second for the Mariners. All those runs coming with 2 outs. He lays into this, smashes this a ton. Ryan Healy going distance again. Back-to-back days for the Mariners' first baseman. He's making the Indians hurt here in Cleveland.
Already had a double with an RBI, so a couple of runs driven in. His second home run on the year. And he knew that he hit all of this one. Fastball middle of the plate, just above the belt. Gordon 3 for 3 this afternoon. An RBI, a run scored. And another 2-out RBI.
You're right. All 6 runs. What a day for Healy. Two and one. Now the 2-2. D. Gordon finds center field. The Mariners leadoff man is 4 for 4 today.
For Dave, just trying to put the ball in play. He's picked up a couple of base hits back up the middle. Carl Willis going to make another trip out to the mound. Nobody getting loose. Bullpen. Segura is 1 for 3. He's also driven in a run and scored.
First 4-hit game of the season for D. Had 2 of them last year with the Marlins. We'll have a chance later to tie his career high 5-hit game back in 2014. Think about Carl Willis for a second, by the way, with the Mariners, right? Working with Felix, for example, Boston, Chris Sale, Porcello. One guy's won a Cy Young, another guy's in the conversation every year. Now here in Cleveland, we've already talked about all the great pitchers here between Kluber, Carrasco. Some pretty good arms.
I feel like you're telling me how smart he is with the way that he's moved around.
He knows where to go. The aboard for Segura. Back to first again.
And now it looks like Tyler Olson, left-hander, getting loose, former Mariner.
Taking a strike. Up high, 1-1. There's Olson. The Mariners 5 runs in the second, highlighted by Cano's 2-run homer. Now a run here in the 6th. Healy going deep for the 2nd straight day. Lee back in standing this time. The 1-2 evens up. Segura a chance for a 2nd hit today. Right there, chin high to Gonzalez, the 2nd baseman, to end the inning. Well, the Mariners tack on another run. Ryan Healy, question about this one, and 2nd in as many days, 6-2 Mariners. 6-2. 6 runs on 10 hits for the Mariners as Michael Brantley leads it off in the bottom of the 6th. Brantley 1 for 2 today, a single earlier. We mentioned when this series began that no team has been better at home since the start of the second half last year than the Cleveland Indians. And they've been spectacular, 36-13 entering this series. If the Mariners can hold on for this one today, leading 6-2, this would be the Indians' first series loss at home since last year's All-Star break. Count goes to 3-0 on Brantley.
Marco now at 79 pitches, 50 strikes. Season high is 92 pitches. And although you want to continue to make quality pitches, you have to stay away from the walks when you have a 4-run lead.
Gordon sizing this one up in center. There's out number 1. Your local Northwest Ford stores and the Mariners are collecting peanut butter at Safeco Field this Saturday to benefit Northwest Harvest. Fans are encouraged to drop off jars of peanut butter or make a donation. It's all part of the Ford Focus on Child Hunger campaign. 6:10 the first pitch, taking on the Angels at Safeco Field. Hope to see you there.
Nice job by Marco. Get the leadoff hitter after falling behind 3-0.
First pitch to Encarnacion is strike 1. We've been talking about the homestand coming up for the Mariners. A day off tomorrow, then back at it at Safeco Field on Tuesday. Felix up on the mound. Paxton and then Erasmo Ramirez. Well, the Mariners are in line to see Sean Manaea for the second time this season. It was Manaea, of course, who no-hit the Red Sox not long ago at the Coliseum. So the good pitching that Scott Services Ball Club has seen will continue. Still 1-2.
Another good cutter in off the plate. See all those pitches down in the zone. Don't plate umpire Jim Reynolds buying a little bit of time for Mike. I think he was hit on the follow through. And Marco doing the same thing. Take a look at it. Yeah.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. The changeup gets Encarnacion. 4 strikeouts for Marco Gonzalez.
Throughout the game, we've talked about it with Marco. It's his best pitch, and he's had excellent command of it today. Just again, can't locate it any better than that. It's coming after another cutter in off the plate, moving the hitter. It's been a really good combination for him against all the righties in the lineup for Cleveland.
Now facing a left-handed bat in Yonder Alonso.
He has just been throwing strike 1 all day long. Working ahead as you take a look at the defense.
And strike 2. We talk all the time about the quality of a strike, and for Erasmo today, he's been on the outside of that box almost all day long.
He's really thrown the ball well. You can see 75% on first pitch strikes. That certainly helps. You can expand the zone if you want to. It just leaves you a lot of options.
Segura right there for a very quick bottom of the 6th. Marco facing the minimum for the second time today. How about that? Thank you, Brad. Now Tomlin is done for the day. Gives up 6 runs in 6 innings. His final line.
See the 10 hits. Didn't walk anybody. Had 3 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches. Gave up a couple of home runs in this one. Oh, he is still struggling as far as keeping the ball in the ballpark. Giving up 8 home runs coming into this game. Tyler Olson will take over. Look at his numbers. 10 appearance. 12 strikeouts. Hasn't walked anybody. Opponents hitting 143. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Fastball right around 88 miles an hour.
Cano going after the first pitch. Skims it out to Ramirez at third base. For Olson, a quick out number 1. Of course, Olson, a former Mariner, a former Zag as well, was teammates with Marco Gonzalez for a couple of years in college in Spokane.
Dan Altavilla getting loose in the pen, so I think Marco is done for the day as he has a conversation with Mel Stottlemyre. Mel probably happy with what he saw today.
Nelly on the first pitch, ropes this to Lindor, a diving stab. 2 pitches and 2 outs, and that is a little bit of robbery.
And Nelson squares it up again. Catches it out on the grass. See where he's playing, how deep he is playing.
Brings up Seager. I'll get him back to Marco for a moment. It's back-to-back 6-inning starts for Marco Gonzalez. You mentioned earlier, rotation really beginning to feel like it's finding some footing. We're seeing more guys get 6 innings. Kyle looking at strike 1. Seager has found the shift his last 2 times up. Looking for his first hit today. 1-2. Now the good news for the Mariners, the big arms in that bullpen as we take a look at Dan. Pretty well rested. Strike 3 called. That ends the top of the 7th. Mariners retired in order. Time to stretch. The road trip. Mariners a chance for a series win at Progressive Field against the Indians, leading 6-2. Mike, how about we take a look at our Columbia Bank difference of the game? You were talking about this earlier.
With Marco Gonzalez on the mound, it really pitched well in a big moment early in the ball game before the Mariners scored all their runs. It was first and third, 2 outs. Back in the first inning, you see the cutter inside, goes back to his changeup, which is his best pitch. Again, he's in some trouble. Very good hitter at the plate. Another cutter, move him off the plate. Here's another changeup. A weak little ground ball over to Kyle Seager. He handles it no problem. But I really thought that was a nice sequence for him, and he just continued on from there. 6 innings, 6 hits, a couple of runs. They were earned. It was a home run that put the 2 runs on the scoreboard. 1 walk. He had 4 strikeouts, 89 pitches overall.
Our Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Dan Altavilla on to work the 7th.
Yeah, he's really been throwing the ball well as of late. Fastball 95 plus with a hard slider. This will be his 13th appearance. ERA right at 3. 15 strikeouts in the 12 innings that he has worked. Opponent's hitting just 195 against Dan.
I mentioned he's well rested. Just 9 pitches over the last 4 days. He'll be facing the bottom 3rd of the order on an off day tomorrow for the Mariners, and the homestand beginning on Tuesday. Take a look at what's next. Felix Hernandez making the start. Kings Court in session Tuesday night at Safeco Field. They're going up against Andrew Triggs. The Mariners saw Triggs earlier in the season. That'll be a good series. A's playing some really good baseball right now, as are the Angels, who come into town after that.
Looking forward to watching Felix again. His last 3 outings, he's really been throwing the ball well. And for Marco, a good day for him.
This continues to make Scott and Jerry happy. For Marco, no more than 1 walk in any of his first 6 starts this year. Gomes leads it off for the Indians. Swinging after the first pitch, a foul ball.
Scott letting him go a little bit deeper in the ball game, working his way through the lineup for the 3rd time today.
That'll brush you back a little bit. 2-1.
Pretty good slider right there. You mentioned the homestand. The A's coming in there, game and a half behind the Mariners. Mariners a half game back of the Angels. 2 games back of Houston. Really bunched up in the West.
That gets him.
Hit a little slider. I think that just slipped out of his hand. Let's break to it at all.
Leadoff man reaching in front of Brandon Guyer. Goes against Dan. Ball 1 as Zunino comes out.
6 pitches, just 2 strikes.
Swing and strike that time. Guyer's driven in the only run of the game so far for the Indians. That 2-run homer in the second. Here's the 1-1. Up straight back and foul. The 1-2. Fastball missing in the dirt.
Struggling with his fastball command. 97 on the fastball, but well off the plate.
I've seen that velocity, excuse me, that command kind of come and go already in spurts this year for Altavilla. Swinging strike. Good slider that time. Now number 1.
Probably guessing he was going to get another fastball, but 87 on the slider, well located. Excellent pitch.
We've got a pinch hitter. Jason Kipnis originally getting the day off, but batting here for Eric Gonzalez, who got the start at second in place of Kipnis. Not missing by much. Ball 1. You know, Kipnis had this great story a couple of years ago at Safeco Field when the Indians were in town. He was walking into the ballpark, kind of had his head down, right? Everything's pretty routine, walking into the same gate like he normally does hours and hours before a game. And he walks right into a guy as he's coming through the doorway. And the guy that he walks into, as Kipnis has his head down, just kind of joking around, calls him for a charge, right? Like a joke, like in basketball. Gets into the clubhouse, and there were some teammates nearby who saw all this go down, and his teammates go, "Kip, you walked into? That was Griffey, man. You walked right into Ken Griffey Jr.
and didn't realize
his favorite player, honest to goodness, for Kipnis growing up, and had no idea. Head down the whole time. Mortified."
Hopefully he's had an opportunity to at least speak to him since then.
I would hope so. The 2-2. Another full count.
To the guy, or he went to the slider. Let's see where he goes here.
Whoa. Two on. MLB.com @bat is your #1 mobile app for live Mariners baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Mariners home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com @bat today.
Talked about it with the cold weather. Difficult to get a grip sometimes, and a couple of sliders have gotten away from Dan, and you can even see after the pitch was thrown, a hard time.
And with 1 out, 2 on, top of the order here, Lindor.
James Pazos starting to get loose in the pen.
Ball 1. Back-to-back fastballs he can't locate. 2-0. Strike with the slider. Again, now this is a problem. Both runners advance.
I think that's a wild pitch, and see him just struggling to get a grip. This isn't even close. It's a number of third one in this inning.
Bases are suddenly loaded.
Hit batter and a couple of walks. 1 strikeout. Scott Service out of the dugout. He's going to make a change. It'll be James Pazos.
We've got a pitching change. This is getting a little interesting. 1 out, bases loaded. 4-run lead for the Mariners. Sports is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BNSF, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by Jack in the Box, try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. A bit of a jam here in the bottom of the 7th. 4-run lead for the Mariners. Tying run coming to the plate. Face a new pitcher, James Pazos, on to work for the Mariners.
For Pazos, his fastball 95 miles an hour. Has a slider to go with it. He's really been throwing the ball well as of late. 8 appearances on the year, a 1.8 ERA, 12 strikeouts to 1 walk over the 10 innings that he has worked. Opponents hitting 194.
Facing left-handed batter Bradley Zimmer. Zimmer, in somewhat limited at-bats against lefties, has performed well.
Tough situation for James. Bases loaded. It's the 1 out. He'll have to throw strikes right away.
Pazos' first pitch. Swing and a miss. Gomes, who was hit by the pitch to begin the inning, a sign of things to come over at third base. Kipnis off the bench, pinch hitting. He was walked at second. Lindor was walked. He's at first. Sliced foul 0-2.
Quickly ahead with a good fastball. 95 miles an hour. With Pazos in the game. Nick Vincent getting loose now in the pen. Switch hitter Ramirez waiting on deck. The lefty Brantley after that.
The 0-2. Activity inside the Indians bullpen. Nick Goody, the right-hander. Another 0-2.
96 with that fastball. 4 fastballs, all of them in on his hands.
Missing in tight, 1-2. Zimmer the tying run, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Check swing. Does not go as you see the slider that time.
He had him set up for the slider. Just able to check his swing.
And this game has been pretty smooth sailing for the Mariners until right now. The 2-2. Another foul ball.
Another fastball inside. Zimmer at 6'5", trying to keep him from extending his arms. Just tied him up with the good fastball. Been late on all of them.
Pitch number 8 to Zimmer. Got him this time. 96 elevated. That is a big time punch out for Pazos.
Probably up out of the strike zone, just throws it right by him at 96. He has a really good fastball today. You can see how late that swing is. He was late the entire at bat. Only 1 slider out of the 8 pitches.
Two outs, bases still loaded. Ramirez at the plate. Barely missing ball 1. Behind 2-0. Bases loaded, 2 outs. To left, turns Gamble around to the track, diving catch, the savior in left field. That will end. Was that dropped? Indians are acting like that's dropped.
Take a look at it. Great effort by Ben. He hits the warning track.
Oh my goodness.
He gets the ball back in. Did they tag Ramirez? Ramirez, it looked as if he wasn't sure either. Ben looked up as if the umpire was telling him that it was a catch. Here's Ramirez right here going around the bases. He's not sure. Right now it looks as if the ball was caught. Ramirez probably thinks it. The infielders certainly think it. And the ball comes back in as he jogs over to third. Kyle tag him right there. And what were the umpires doing out in the outfield? Because Ben came up, looked like he was going to throw the ball in right away.
Right.
And then because of the reaction of everything going around him, he tried to play it off as if he was able to hold on to it. And I would assume he looked right at the umpire that was out there. You'll see Ben now. He will get up like he's going to throw and then play it off like it was caught once he sees everybody relaxed.
So Kyle didn't even have the ball.
And then right there at the end, he looked over to his right where the umpire would have been. And he had to get some sort of signal from the umpire. Which is why Ramirez running the bases. He was confused. The infielders were confused. This will be interesting to see what they end up doing right here. And I couldn't tell if Kyle tagged Ramirez, if that's even going to be a part of it, as Ramirez was walking over towards third. I thought he did.
Oh, this could be a mess. The umpires back in New York. There is a camera they have access to that will show where the runners are at all times.
They're going to put 2 of the runners back. They're going to put Ramirez at second and Lindor back at third.
So Gomes and Kipnis have scored.
And I'm sure Terry's wondering why Lindor has to go back to third. That'll be a double for Ramirez.
Let's go see where Lindor was exactly.
Well, Scott Service was talking to the home plate umpire, and he's satisfied. Well,
as the ball is being dropped
on the warning track, Lindor is running.
He's the trailing runner. This is Lindor hitting the bag right there.
On the left side of the screen, as he was hitting third, I could see the umpire out in the outfield, but I couldn't tell what he was signaling. But that's what they're, and yeah, now Francona done. So you have a couple of runs in, still 2 outs.
Now facing Michael Brantley. Going after the first pitch. He's done that a lot. 0-1.
Don't know that Terry Francona would argue that Ramirez should get third base in the run score. I think he was fine probably with him at second, but with 2 outs, he's thinking that Lindor, one of the fastest guys that he has, would have scored from first on the play, and he was probably making that argument.
Sure. Instead, Lindor over at third, Ramirez at second. Look there at the tie-in run. Go ahead run. Brantley at the plate. Oh, 2.
Good breaking ball.
Two runs in the second, 2 runs here in the 7th for the Indians. Pazos 1-2. Right back to him. Self-defense. Pazos gets out of the inning. Couple of men aren't left. A lot of things in that inning could have been a lot worse.
But he helps himself out right back at him. He's able to make the play.
time for Snoqualmie Casino around the league. Almost history made today as Paul DeYoung of the St. Louis Cardinals breaks up Nick Kingham's perfect game bid, a 2-out single in the 7th. So perfect game gone, no hitter gone. And to make that even more incredible for Kingham, making his major league debut today. A start to his career. The Mariners trying to get a couple of runs back as they face a new pitcher, Nick Goody.
Fastball, slider. Fastball right around 91 miles an hour.
One ball and one strike. And that home run by Healy looking even bigger right now as we take a look at the numbers for Goody so far this year. It's a shot out to right center. It gets Geyer angling back out of the track, can't make the catch. He aired the ball bang off the wall. Haniger, a wide turn now, picking up the speed into third. Haniger 90 feet from home with one swing. Who else would get things started?
Well, for Mitch, goes the other way. The third breaking ball in a row. He puts a charge into it. Geyer, the right fielder, ends up against the wall. Zimmer, the center fielder, bobbles it. I think he was going to stop at second base. He has his head up looking at the ball, and as soon as he sees that bobble, he takes off for third. Off triple. Good chance to get that one of the two runs back right here.
Oh, 1-2 to Zunino. Now the big inning today for the Mariners, the 5-run second. All those runs coming with 2 outs. The 1-2. Zunino down on strikes. I'll be sure to stick around after this one is over with. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines will be next. Mariners hit the skies, head back home, an off day tomorrow. Homestand beginning Tuesday against the A's, and the Angels coming to town. Chance here for Ben Gamble.
Infield is still in.
Oh, 0-1. Ground ball. It hits off of Alonso's glove and dives into right field, and Ben Gamble brings Haniger in after the triple, and the Mariners get one of those runs right back. It's now 7-4 Mariners.
And for Ben, he really needed a base hit. Infield is in. It's right between the first baseman and second baseman. The first baseman off the end of his glove helps him out. Mariners are now 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
Healy looks at strike one to go back to his last at bat.
Take a look at our Primera Supermo and the swing. Deep into the stands out in left field. His second home run, has homered in back-to-back days.
This is cranked out to left field. Healy doing it again. Back-to-back at-bats. Ryan Healy. He has caught fire. And the Mariners have thrown 3 runs up on the board in this 8th inning.
Have a day. 3 for 4, a double, a couple of home runs. He's driven in 4, scored 3. You take a look at a breaking ball middle of the plate, gets all of it.
Gordon, a snare by Ramirez at third base. And it keeps D from picking up his 5th hit of the day. Back to the home run by Healy.
You're right, Aaron. They don't hit cheap ones.
I mean, this is what playing a video game is like.
Exactly.
It normally is not this easy for anyone. Segura takes ball 1.
Nicasio getting loose in the pen.
Three home runs in 2 days for Healy. And we were talking earlier today, Mike, how at any moment in this lineup anyone can spark. And we're seeing it again here in the 8th.
Healy's hitting 9th.
That is not your normal number 9 hitter.
No. Most clubs he would be in the middle of the lineup.
Check swing and appeal. He does not go. It's 3-0.
.427 feet on that home run.
Ruled a strike. Now the Mariners are just a double shy of hitting for the cycle in this inning.
They have scored 31 runs in the series.
Well, outside, Segura aboard. A rare walk for Gene. Just his second walk in his last 21 games. Here's Robbie. Now Cano, one of 3 homers today for the Mariners. They hit 4 yesterday. On the first pitch, off of Alonso's glove. Kipnis, the throw wide to first base. Everybody keeps on running. Segura to third, Cano, and it's second.
And that will bring up Nelson Cruz. Nelson hit the ball hard his last time up, lined out to the shortstop.
And he becomes the 8th batter of this 8th inning for the Mariners.
For Cleveland, nobody getting loose in the pen.
Strike one to Cruz. Oh, and 2. Cruz a home run yesterday, his 5th. He's got 2 on and 2 out. The 0-2.
Another good day hitting with runners in scoring position. Nicasio ready to go in the pen.
Already been a 3-run inning for the Mariners. A chance for more. Cano at second, Segura at third. Now the 2-2. And on the hands. That ends the top of the 8th. But Ryan Healy, part of a 3-run inning. Healy a home run yesterday. How about 2 homers today? And back-to-back at-bats. Hit 2 of the biggest blasts you'll see anywhere in the game.
Another look at the Primera Supermo. Breaking ball spinning right in the middle of the plate. Barrels it up. His 2nd home run is out to left center field, well back into the seats.
Well, the Mariners went into that inning leading by only 2, top of the 8th. And they grabbed 3 runs. A little cushion now for Nicasio to work.
For Nicasio, 12 appearances, a 3.55 ERA, 13 strikeouts, just 1 walk. 12 2/3. Opponents hitting only 200 against him. His fastball 91 to 95 and a slider.
Faces Encarnacion to begin the inning. He looks at it for ball one. Now 4 home runs yesterday for the Mariners. 3 home runs today. Yesterday scoring a dozen runs, today with 9. And Healy with 3 home runs in his last 5 at bats. Shift is on. Segura takes his time. 1 out.
Seems to, with the Mariners in the scoring, in large part because of the home runs, but they're scoring in bunches and they're doing it in a hurry.
You're right. It's like 15 pitches and there's 5 runs up on the board.
Exactly. It's fun to watch. Yonder Alonso stepping in. 0 for 3.
Takes his legs right out from underneath him.
That was on a slider. Slider in on his hands and right inside that kneecap. I've seen that a couple of times on this road trip. Takes a little while to walk it off.
You might have heard some cheering. That is for the Cavs game, which just went final. LeBron with 45 points, leading the Cavs to a win in Game 7, 4-point win. They'll go on to play the Raptors. Over towards the shift. Segura to his chest, flattens it. Long throw. The stretch by Healy. Out number 2.
Segura has been busy and has played well out at shortstop.
I'll bring up Yan Gomes. Now, speaking of the Cavs and Pacers game, we stayed at a fine hotel here. Great accommodations as always by our traveling secretary Jack Mosselman. And earlier today, as we were making our way over to the ballpark, even before we made our way over to the ballpark, Mike, I would say our best hourly worker in the truck, John Jacobson, JJ,
yeah,
was making his way over to do some early work.
Some early work. When you catch the first bus over.
First bus.
Yeah.
Made his way out of the hotel, got on the bus, was sitting down there all by himself. That's how early he was. He was the first guy there. Well, all of a sudden, somebody in a Indiana Pacers polo came up to him and said, "You know, I think you might be on the wrong bus." The Pacers were staying at our hotel as well.
Yeah.
Was taking on the Cavs, and the Pacers are such good people. They said to JJ, "You know what? We're all going to the same place. Why don't you stay on the bus right over with us? We'll drop you off." As Gomes finds right field.
I'm glad he made it here.
He made some friends. Gomes aboard with 2 outs.
Tyler Naquin going to pinch hit. He will hit for Geyer. I can see how that would be confusing, though, to get on the wrong bus. Normally, we'd expect there to be just the one bus.
There's just
right?
a bus.
Yeah.
Last time that JJ ever takes the early bus. Lesson learned there, huh, JJ? There's Naquin. Indifference gets Gomes into second. 0-2. 94th and knees. Strike three call. Naquin seeing 3 pitches, all strikes. That ends the 8th. Mariners a chance to play even more add-on. Nine 4 Mariners leading the Indians. Join us Tuesday during the Mariners game for Twitter Tuesday. You'll have 5 chances to win exciting prizes just by interacting with us on Twitter throughout the game. We'll be posting questions. Of course, we want to hear from you. So be sure to watch and follow us on Twitter at @RootSports_NW. For giveaway rules, visit us at rootsports.com. Our matchup on Tuesday, game 1 of the homestand. Taking on the Oakland A's. The King up on the mound making his 7th start of the season. Pitched well his last time out. He'll be taking on Andrew Triggs, who also pitched well his last start, a quality start against the Texas Rangers. Seager leads it off. Looks at ball 1. Zach McAllister on the mound to work the 9th inning. Mariners really took it to McAllister yesterday.
Well, you can see his ERA over 10 now. 11 appearances, 8 2/3, just 3 strikeouts, giving up 3 home runs. Opponents hitting .342. Fastball curve split. Average fastball 94 miles an hour.
His ERA was lifted by over 3 runs after what the Mariners did to him yesterday. 5 runs, 4 earned. Over just an inning's worth of work. He took over for Carrasco yesterday. Gave up a home run to Kyle Seager as the crowd leaving the Cavs game making their way on the street. Two and two. The opposite way, some air underneath it. Brantley in left field puts it away for round number 1. Haniger a single, a triple, 2 runs scored. Mariners put a 5 spot on the board in the second, a solo home run in the 6th by Healy. Healy homering again in the 8th, part of a 3-run inning.
Edwin Diaz getting loose in the pen. Edwin did not pitch yesterday. Mariners have tomorrow off.
He's been pretty well rested after 3 straight days.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Haniger ahead 2-1. Haniger rifle shot left field. Haniger going yard. This is back-to-back 4-homer games for the Mariners. That one's rolling around in the concourse someplace. 10-4 Mariners.
Haniger's 10th home run, 27 RBIs. He's a double shy of the cycle today. He had a triple in his last at bat. 93 miles an hour, a 2-seamer, trying to run it to his hands, but he gets the barrel to it.
Well, heads up to the guy in the nacho line out there. Well, I found it. Mike, we talked yesterday that yesterday was only the 2nd time ever the Mariners had homered 4 times in a game in this ballpark, and then they do it again today.
Well, we keep talking about the lineup, and it's been unreal, especially now that they finally have everybody healthy in the lineup. Pretty good first month for Mitch Haniger. And they'll get tomorrow off. I can see it stay in April for a while longer with the way he's been swinging it.
Strike 3 call, 2 outs. About 20 minutes ago, the Mariners led by 2.
We were just talking about that last inning, how quickly things happen for them. And Gamble with a base hit, picked up an RBI his last time up, 1 for 4, an RBI and a run scored.
All this really happened for the Mariners against Mike Clevenger earlier in this series. The Mariners picked up 4 hits in the span of about 7 pitches as Gamble grounds out to end the inning. Now, the Mariners have homered 4 times today. Plenty of run support behind Marco Gonzalez. Indians down to their final 3 outs. segments to burn. Well, to make things even more fun for the Indians, they're facing this guy now.
13 appearances. This is not a save opportunity. 0.68 ERA, 25 strikeouts and 13 in the third, and opponents hitting 0.47.
Yeah, 2 hits against Diaz so far this year.
His fastball in the upper 90s with a hard slider.
Ball 1 to Kipnis. You know, assuming that this score holds, as the Indians are down to their final 3 outs, this will be the first time since the end of the 2015 season where the Mariners win 7 games on a road trip. Mariners will finish this road trip 7-3. All series wins, of course, Texas, Chicago. Now take 3 out of 4 here, as Kipnis is quickly disposed of. He meets the slider. Now number 1. And again, we talked about this earlier, but it bears repeating. This has been the best home team, the Indians, since last year's All-Star break. They have not lost a home series, and you would think them losing a 4-game series would be next to impossible,
especially when you consider the pitching that they threw at the Mariners for this series.
I mean, any manager who comes into this ballpark for a 4-game series, even if you've won back-to-back series like Scott and the Mariners had, you're coming in here, you're saying, hey, we've won back-to-back series on this trip. If you come into Cleveland and you're facing Carrasco and Kluber and Clevenger, you get a split out of that, you're feeling terrific flying back home. Mariners will get more than that, as Lindor flies out a 99 out to left field.
Well, and the great thing about it is obviously a lot of offense, but they've really pitched well too, which is good to see, and the defense has been solid. They just really have played exceptional baseball in this series.
Cano home run today. Healy 2 homers. Zimmer getting a wave of that 99-mile-an-hour heater. Marco Gonzalez tremendous again today. Plenty of run support. Now 2-2. Day off tomorrow for the Mariners, on the air at 6:30 on Tuesday. Kings Court in session at Safeco Field. Mariners.com/Felix to pick up your tickets. Taking on Andrew Triggs and the A's. The 2-2. What a way to punctuate a 7-3 road trip for the Mariners, as they take 3 out of 4 from the Indians in their home ballpark.
Good to see Marco Gonzalez get his 3rd win and really pitching well over his last 3 outings. Mariners, what can you say about the offense? They really swung the bats well. It's good to have Ryan Healy back in the lineup. He started at the beginning of this series. Again, 3 home runs for him in the last couple of days, and Mitch Haniger 10 home runs already this year. It's been a fun start.
It's been incredible. 10-4 the final. Mariners in double digits against these Indians in back-to-back games. And they're the first team since last year's All-Star break to take a series here at Progressive Field. Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines starts right now. Bill, Brad, have fun.